Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Yo, greetings Kooplings, welcome back to the Nintendo Shack, titled Indie World, August 2021. Boys night tonight.
Oh, hey.
So Rebecca is out there doing the Zeldathons. So I am sitting in studio with producer Garrett.
Whoa.
You just pulled it off, man. How'd that feel?
It was unimaginable. It's actually so much easier with Melon.
It's so easy with Melon. Melon is like a cheat code for this. It's so easy.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm fine mentally.
You're fine.
My
Okay.
neck is killing me.
Oh, okay.
I've had a stiff neck like all week, and I'm just doing this constantly. I can't get it. I can't.
Is it
work
you
it
just
out.
sitting in the chair a lot, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what it is. I need to get to the chiropractor or a masseuse, but I don't know. I don't like my chiropractor anymore. I need to find a new chiropractor. That's my issue.
Is he just doing a bad job?
Every time I go, like the last 4 or 5 times, the price has increased every time.
Just
And it's
steadily.
just this weird, awkward thing where they're like, we had to raise the prices $5 and $5, and like it's not expensive. It's more like the principle. It's like, well, this isn't okay. You can't just do
Keep
it like as I'm
increasing
leaving.
price.
Like as I walk up to pay. You're like,
That's
"By
what
the
they do,
way,
though.
It's more than what you expected, and I just don't like that way of doing business. So
Yeah.
I want to do something else. But
Sounds good.
we got a big show this week. If you don't
We do.
mind, I was thinking we'd skip the what we're up to because
I'm totally fine by that.
there's news, just a gargantuan amount of news. It's gonna be a long show just for that alone. Plus, Garrett, we have to talk about a recent update that we've announced. Personally,
Yes.
that I've announced. There's lots of big changes coming to the Nintendo Shack and the PSVG network of podcasts soon. Starting with most importantly for this show, September 2nd will be my last show as the full-time host of the Nintendo Shack. I will be departing Shack to go to Play Some Video Games, which is a brand new show that we're launching September 1st. We have our first episode out called WTF. What the F is going on around PSVG, where we explain all of the reasons why we're doing all the things that we're doing. I'm very grateful and happy and excited about this new show, and excited where Shaq is, and very grateful to both Rebecca and Garrett for allowing me to do this. Because when you listen to that first PSVG podcast, you'll learn that like it all kind of centered around those two willing to take me up on this offer. So I've already said a lot of my piece. I don't want to regurgitate it. I also don't want to get too in depth, like without Rebecca. I'd like to I'd like to have the three of us talk about it. But I mean, things are changing. So you're full time in the producer role now.
Yeah.
And Rebecca will be the full-time host. You guys will have a new member join the team.
Yes.
It will still be a 3-person show. I'm very excited on who the mystery third person. Who's the third man, Garrett?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I have no idea.
But Garrett, I mean, do you have anything you'd like to say or add to that?
No, I'm just proud of where we're transitioning, and proud of you just to going out there and just like knowing what you want to do with PSVG. And I'm glad you're able to trust me and Rebecca with the show and with another co-host as well. Because I think when we were doing shows without you, I think we were just doing just fine.
Yeah,
of
course.
Yeah, so.
Like, I don't want to get too in-depth without Rebecca, but I will say just quickly, I couldn't have more trust in both of you guys. Oh, there's Rebecca.
Yeah.
I couldn't have more trust in both of you guys. That's the whole reason this is even possible. Because I know that Shaq will be okay without me, and I can't say that about the other shows that I do and that I'm on, which is why we're moving in the direction that we're moving. But also, and we can talk about this more again when Rebecca comes back, but I do want to say, like, I've done this for 200 episodes plus, because we had several Shaqs that were Shaqs before Shaq had its own feed. So I've been doing this Nintendo show for 4 or 5 years at least, and I feel like I've said, like, everybody knows my Nintendo things. They know I like Wind Waker, No More Heroes. They know I don't like RPGs. Like, I've kind of done it. And I'm really proud of, like, where this show is. And I kind of feel like me stepping into a different show and letting somebody else come in and will maybe give this show, like, some new life and let them reach new listeners that maybe just me hanging around can't do. Right. So I'm very excited about the future. It's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. The new guest is just going to be incredible. Like, it's going to be great.
It's going to click.
I think a lot of people are just going to be like, this is better. This is so much better. And if you still want, to hear me talk about Nintendo things, like, I will still talk about what I think about Metroid and stuff like that on the PSVG podcast. You just got to add another podcast to your podcast player. So again, it'll be in the show notes for this episode. So if you're listening to it on your podcast player, just look in the show notes. There will be a link to our new show called Play Some Video Games. If you go to iTunes or Spotify or wherever you go find podcasts, if you type in Play Some Video Games, you should be able to find us. If that doesn't work, type in PSVG. All of our shows should pop up when you type in PSVG. But yeah, we start September 1st. So
nice.
With that news out of the way, let's get into this week in Nintendo. And it went from being a very slow news week to a very long news week in a matter of days. Just blew up in our face.
Oh my gosh.
A couple days. So Nintendo did an Indie World. They announced it, was it Monday? They announced it Monday for Wednesday? Yeah. So a couple of days notice, Indie World 2021. They announced a bunch of games.
Yeah.
I'm going to scroll through them here because...
Go through it.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I don't think we need to stop on every game.
No, we don't.
So I'm going to highlight the ones that I'm interested in, and then if there's one that I missed that you're interested in, you let me know.
Okay. Sounds good.
First and foremost, I'm super interested in the first game that they showed, which is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. This is a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, which I loved back on the Dreamcast. What a great game. And I can't wait. This was one of I don't know, it's like 1A, 1B for my favorite show of the showcase. This one.
Oh, wow.
Like, right off the gate, I was just really into this game. This one, I think, probably is in the must-buy category for me. Like, I'm planning to buy this one probably the day that it releases.
Cool. Sounds good.
What do you think about this one?
It has a very cool style, and of course, it's like the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. It's gonna have a lot of cool style. I would like to maybe have a demo before I would get into it, see a price point. Probably not a day one purchase for me, but it looks really cool for sure. Yeah.
The next game that I was interested in, although it's less interest, but is Toem. This is the very next game that they showed. This is interesting because I haven't heard anybody say this about it, which probably means that it's just completely wrong. It actually gave me Short Hike vibes. Now, it's completely different, right? It's black and white. It's not full of color, but the style of the characters and how they draw trees and the little house and stuff, just the general look of the game kind of made me think that. Now it's like its own little adventure game that you walk around and you can take photos and stuff like that. It just looked like kind of an enjoyable, relaxing type thing. I'm not rushing to get it, but this is definitely one that made my wish list. So I think it's notable to bring it up. Yeah,
it definitely looks like a chill game. Very minimalist. I love the art style of this game. So we'll see how it shakes up. I would be interested to see the reviews of that.
As I scroll down the list, that's about it. This is interesting because this is a show overall I don't think did a whole lot for me. So Far Changing Tides, I thought looked cool, but I don't know if I'm I don't know. I need to know more.
There's not enough.
Yeah.
Information
Metal
in
Slug,
that one.
Great.
Looks fantastic.
And we knew that was coming to Switch. Yeah. When it was announced, we were like, oh, that's definitely going to come to Switch.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have confirmation. Tetris Effect Connected on Switch the day the OLED releases.
That's a pretty good planned out date right there.
You're gonna
that's gonna
look
great
in
on handheld.
Play some Tetris Effect. It is gonna look great in handheld. I don't know if I can buy it again though. Probably will, just not at launch. I'll probably wait for a sale.
Yeah, I'll wait for a sale as well. I've never played Tetris Effect though.
Oh, really? So I played it in VR.
Yeah.
And then I played it on Game Pass. I'll probably play it on Switch.
Yeah. I just never been a huge Tetris guy, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know about it. I know it's a really good game, a very solid game, and people are obsessed with it. It's just me. It's just Just
It
some
has
some
all
blocks
the
going down.
particle effects in the background and like
That's true.
fancy music, and it kind of vibrates to the music, and you start to get into a rhythm where you start placing blocks like within time, in beat, and it has a very, I don't know, like immersive game
Gotcha.
feeling. It's one of those games,
Yeah.
especially if you play with headphones. Like on Switch, it's gonna be great. You get your OLED, you plug in some headphones, or you get your Bluetooth ones, and you turn it up, and you just kind of forget about the world around you.
Oh my gosh, you just lay in bed and you just
Yeah.
have the headphones and
Yeah.
that OLED switch.
That's what you do with Tetris.
good
Like
experience.
Tetris Effect is great. It's one of the few games I play with my wife. We play together. She hates it. Tetris gives her real anxiety.
Yeah,
You can
because
hear
it's
it
just
in
you
her
have to
voice.
organize everything.
Like she can't. She doesn't. She never grew up with video games.
Right.
And I think a lot of people out there probably, you probably have a significant other. Everybody knows this person, right? Never grew up with video games. And it's so odd when you, a person who's been trained from a very young age to be adept at video games,
Yeah.
hand the controller to somebody who has no idea what they're doing, how bad it can possibly go. My wife turns the blocks in Tetris woefully slow. Like
Oh no.
one turn. 2 turns.
Oh no. I couldn't stand that.
3 turns. And then she she turns it when she gets nervous when it gets close.
Yeah.
She'll turn it too far. And then she doesn't know what to do, so she'll just start spamming the buttons, and then it just starts to pile up, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing, help me. Meanwhile, when you give me the controller, like I'm almost in constant spin mode. Like
Right.
the moment the blocks, I'm just spinning them.
And
in
you're just
circles.
moving around, spinning it. You got that rhythm going.
I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put this yet, but I'm going to sit here and just spin it in circles till I figure it out.
See, if I just miss one block, like in one row, my game is ruined. I'm like, I can't
Oh,
play
really?
this game anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
I know
wow.
I know I can recover. I was just like, no, I
I
see
like the
that right
recovery
there.
aspect of it. I feel,
Yeah.
I honestly, I think it's like how I feel like when I organize my cubbies or I organize my cables. Like when I'm in Tetris, when something goes wrong and I've missed a block and there's a spot, I love getting it back. Like there's a deep sense of gratification. It's like, I got to level this. I got to fix it. I messed this up. So kind of restoring order back to the Tetris board is quite nice.
I'll definitely try it out with this one for sure.
And Tetris has, long history with Nintendo handhelds. It's nice to
Yeah.
see it. Tetris 99 was a big thing. Maybe more people will be ready for Tetris Effect.
Anything else for you? Really?
No, I want to say Boyfriend Dungeon, but probably not. Just to shout out a few things. So like the Cyberpunk game is 2022.
Yeah.
Tome is this fall. Far Changing Tides is 2022, but I want to at least shout out the ones that were out now. So
Right.
Necrobarista, a visual novel, was out today, so it's available now.
Mm-hmm.
Garden Story was another one that's out today.
Looks
it's
cool.
available now. Boyfriend Dungeon was out today, available now.
And on Game
think
Pass.
The star of the show is Axiom Verge 2, which
Of
was
course.
out today. Everybody rushed to go get that one. That one is Axiom Verge is an interesting one for me because I don't think anybody likes being in this position where the world universally loves something,
Yes.
but you yourself don't. And it's not like
Right.
Here's the thing. It's not that I dislike it. That's not the thing. It's not that I don't like it. I think it's fine. But like the world loves Axiom Verge.
Everyone shook with that game
And
announcement.
this has been
yeah.
since the Wii U. This has been a thing, and like every console since, this has been a long time thing. And I'm very happy for them. I tried it and just, I don't know. I didn't get into it. And,
okay.
not like I got into Hollow Knight, not like like I got into Ori or Metroid. Like I've just played a lot of Metroidvanias that I like more than this one, which
Okay.
that puts me in a weird position because I feel like most people are like, this is the Metroid that we never had. I'm like, really?
That's what a lot of people say. I've
do,
had
yeah.
the first Axiom Verge, for the longest time on my Vita. And I was like, oh, I should probably play that. People say it's good, and I just never get to it. So, of course,
I don't know if it's the art style. Maybe have something a little to do with it. But I mean, I've liked
Yeah.
other games with similar art styles. I don't know. I played it for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore.
maybe it's one of those, it gets good. One of
Maybe
those
so.
one of those
Maybe
first
so.
games. But people are really going after this.
Yeah.
So,
What else? Anything else you got?
for me, for sure, Loop Hero is
Yeah.
a huge thing, especially in PC. I'm glad it's coming on to Switch on the handheld. I was waiting for that I know Steam Deck's coming out, but I think I might get the Switch version of this. It looks solid, so.
I mean, this had everything that I don't want in a video game.
Yeah,
like
and this is everything I
It's
want.
just rogue, right? It was like loop procedural-based deck building, right?
You got deck building.
I was like, oh, hell no. Not even Devolver is enough to... I'm like, no thanks. I'm good.
It looks pretty good. Boyfriend Dungeon, I'll try out on Game Pass.
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, I want to give that a go. I do like...
No thanks.
I love Shovel Knight to death. I like the style. I'm not a huge block clearing puzzler mobile game.
Roguelite block clearing puzzler dungeon game.
I don't know what they're thinking, man. Why did they make this side game?
I'm good.
They could have done so many
Good
different genres in the Shovel Knight universe, and they just made this mobile game on Switch. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see what the price is.
They also touched on it. They had a little montage. So they touched on Slime Rancher, Portable Ops, or Portable Editions coming, Curious Expedition 2, Astroneer, 100 Days Slime Rancher, Lumbearjack.
The Lumbearjack, yeah.
Oof. Curious Expedition 2 and Gang Beasts are all on their way to Switch as well. And then, honestly, probably the star of the show for me
Yes.
was Eastward, which is being published by Chucklefish from Pixpill, which a lot of people are saying Chucklefish, which I understand why. They've got all the name recognition, but I want to make sure that everybody knows published by Chucklefish.
Yes.
Eastward looks amazing. It looks great.
Looks fantastic.
This is kind of like just my general feelings about this little showcase overall. It really starts with Eastward. I've been wanting Eastward for a long time. I have it on my wish list. There's a few things holding me back on this one a little bit, though. First, Eastward looks like a bunch of games that I've never finished. Like, I have bought a bunch of games just like this that I never finish.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's coming out, was it September 16th, which is right
September.
after WarioWare and True Colors and right before a different game that I can't remember, but a bunch of other games.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is kind of what I was thinking with a lot of these games, especially the ones that are dated this fall, like Tetris Effect. You know, like a lot of the ones that were dated soon, they're coming out this fall is so packed.
It's
I don't think
crazy,
I'm going to buy
man.
any of these the day they come out. Doesn't mean I'm not going to. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get Eastward, but I'm probably not going to get to it. I don't know if this fall. Like, this might be a 2022 thing that I pick up during a lull or maybe on sale or something. But it looks great. It looks fantastic. I can't commit to playing everything.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff? WarioWare. Yeah, it comes out with 6 days. Didn't it come out the 10th?
Oh, is it early September or early October?
I don't. Now you're throwing me.
See,
for it.
I don't pay
remember.
attention to WarioWare in the Mario Party. I know it's in there in the fall, but that's Rebecca's turf over there.
Oh, it's gonna be real good. But I don't remember which day it's coming out. I looked it up the other day, and now I just don't remember any of them anymore.
He thinks it's September. It's September, October for sure. It's before Metroid Dread.
Yeah, I think it's September 10th. It is.
Oh,
September
okay.
10th.
You got it.
Wario,
Yeah.
September 10th. And then Mario Party.
Mario Party's in.
Then
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Then Advance Wars.
Yes.
So, and then if you're like us, well, if you're like me and you play other consoles, I mean, I can't even count you the amount of other games. Like I said, Life is Strange True Colors, out early September, like right there with WarioWare. There are tons of other games come out first week October. You've got OLED, you've got Metroid, you got Far Cry. Like it gets crazy.
Bombards you, man.
So for me, I'm trying to be a little responsible here. Honestly, I'm trying to be responsible. I'm looking at these dates and I'm looking at what's coming out and I'm like, I'm not going to commit to playing that. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to buy it and not play it. So I'm going to hold off.
Just wait. Yeah. Wait
I'm
for
gonna
sales.
hold off on buying some of these. It doesn't mean that I thought the show was bad. I didn't think it at all. I think the show had several really good looking video games. It's just that the totality of, you know me, I always say that I judge these based on how many we're planning to get. I think I might only be getting 2 or 3 of these games.
I'm just getting 2 for sure, which is Loop Hero and Metal Slug Tactics, and they're later. I'm not even gonna. Yeah.
I think I'm more excited about the games that they announced in 2022 than the ones that
Me
are coming
too.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Metal Slug, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, I'm I'm digging the Cyberpunk thing. And that's an exclusive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's timed exclusive for
Timed
Switch,
exclusive. There was
which
a
is
lot of
cool.
games that were timed exclusive.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Nintendo getting that
they're-
indie
they're-
grab.
Yeah, I think they're like, all right, we're tired of this Game Pass.
We're tired of this Game Pass, and Sony's not paying attention. So let's gobble up these indies on our
We're tired
handheld.
of Game Pass taking all of our games. We're gonna start. I've been expecting them to start securing more timed deals, timed exclusives.
Because Boyfriend Dungeon is out on Game Pass, and that's
on
one of
Game
those
Pass.
games. I'll try it out on Game Pass then. Like
As you
I tried out Chris Tales on Game Pass, so it's those games that are smaller that you get to try out over there.
Yeah. So overall, it's a good little indie show. It does what Indie World's supposed to do.
It's a nice, tight 20-minute show that is so much better than whatever I saw from Xbox's 4-hour indie show with Twitch.
Yeah.
I prefer this
I
tightness.
stopped watching that.
Mhm.
What wasn't there was Hollow Knight was not there. which
Hollow Knight, yeah.
Everybody continues. I don't know. It's just become like a thing on the internet now. When Nintendo has anything, it's Silk Song, which I get is the demand from a great indie smash hit. But I mean, I'm not expecting Silk Song this year.
What's the last time that they
haven't.
mentioned it? Last year or
Yeah,
beginning of this year?
I haven't been expecting it for some time.
Yeah.
And then, we do have some other news and some other things. So, like, the other one that everybody talks about is always Sports Story, which
Yep.
I told you guys, back when Mario Golf was released, I was like, yeah, I would push this off if I were them. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. They gave us an update today on Twitter. They said some parts of the game unexpectedly grew quite large. The tennis portion now has a full career that spans multiple zones. We decided we had no choice but to see it through and look forward to sharing the results of our struggles. We think it was worth it. So, you've got COVID, you've got delays everywhere, plus they're adding all of this extra stuff in for Sports Story on top of what you expect with golf and everything else. Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Okay.
And I don't expect Sports Story out this year. I expect it probably next spring.
Yeah, had to drop it out of my fantasy league. I was like, nope, ain't
I think
coming
it's
out
smart
this year.
for them. I told
Yeah.
you that. I don't think it was conscious per se, but I think there might be a benefit for them just getting clear of Mario Golf for a little bit.
Yeah, and especially this holiday, people are not going to pay attention to Sports Story as much as the typical first-party games coming out.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, early next year. Sounds good.
Not included in the indie showcase, but has been confirmed, at least in Australia. Spelunky 1 and 2 are coming out August 26th. That's soon.
That's very soon. And that's weird it wasn't in the
I think
indie
they would
showcase.
have put that in the show. Like, if it's that
Yeah.
soon, why didn't they put it in the show? I guess sometimes because they've already done it before.
Yeah, they've
We've
done
run
it
into
before,
this
yeah.
a few occasions where they don't double dip.
Yeah.
Like we were making jokes there for a while because the indie worlds will come out and they just keep announcing new indie games that never come out. And there was a period we were like, we're still waiting on the indie games from 2 years ago that you announced that are not here.
Right.
So I guess they do have some track record with that, but still, with it being so close,
It's like-
why didn't you throw it in that montage?
And that reel,
sizzle?
yeah. Yeah.
You've got Lumbearjack in there.
Lumberjack. I don't even know what the game looks like. It's just an interesting name.
I expect a lot of people I know a lot of people are very excited about Spelunky 1 and 2. They had a great run on Vita and with 3DS.
Yes.
So yeah, people are really into Spelunky. Now, let's see if we can do Rebecca some justice.
Yes.
The Life is Strange Remastered Collection has been delayed to 2022 for all consoles via a tweet coming from the official Life is Strange Twitter account. Life is Strange True Colors Ultimate Edition will still grant you access to the 2 remastered collection games when they eventually release. And they did confirm that the Wavelengths DLC starring Steph will arrive September 30th for True Colors. However, Life is Strange True Colors has been delayed for Nintendo Switch. They didn't give us a date. They said it won't be quite ready for release on September 10th, and then but we plan to release it this year. That doesn't sound good.
Oh, no.
That sounds like it might not make this year.
It's like, oh, we're still on it. It may come out this year. It's like, oh, don't say that.
So the DLC
man.
is definitely not coming to Switch.
No,
on
no,
time,
it's not.
I don't think. If it's it's a month afterwards, so it'll be a while. Maybe they hold back to do them all at once. Who knows? But this is interesting because we've had words on this show about Life is Strange, specifically myself and Rebecca. This doesn't bother me per se because I wasn't buying it on Switch to begin with. However, I know that Rebecca was and other people were, and if I was, I'd be really upset because one of the things that we talked about and being excited for the news, they finally you're going to bring these games to Switch. It's like, okay, well, at least the new one is coming out the same day. Like, you're not getting the story narrative game a year later like we have with so many of the Telltale games and everything else. And we're not. Like, we gave them all that credit, and it was for naught because we're just not getting it.
Yeah.
I wish Rebecca was on the show. I'd love to ask her if she's planning to wait. I mean, I can't.
Me too.
I wasn't going to, but I couldn't imagine waiting to play it on Switch.
Yeah, it's just, and she's played the other games on the PC, so I don't know how she feels playing this on PC or another system as well and going away from Switch on this one, or double dip or something like that. I don't know.
So I think I'll double dip at some point. I'll eventually get these games. They'll be on sale. And just like I do a lot of things with Switches, I'll grab them when they drop, $20 or something like that. But I'm not going to wait to play them. For sure. Like, this is one of my highlight releases of the entire fall. I'm going to play it as soon as possible.
Yeah, Life is Strange is those narrative games. And this one is not episodic, right? It's just all straight through.
Thing,
yeah, so you're going to see spoilers pretty soon. I mean, you're seeing...
They're going to be talking about it on podcasts. You're going to hear people's impressions. People are going to be tweeting about it. Like, that's the problem with stories. Like, when you have a very heavily narrative game, like, you don't want to be behind on it 2 months or 6 months, depending how. It's really sad they didn't even give us a time frame. They're like, we hope to get it this year. It's like, oof.
Yeah, that sounds like they're kind of struggling at running on the Switch itself more than anything. So hopefully it comes out. Like, I don't expect it to come out this year now. When they say hopefully comes out this year, it's like, I don't think so.
I mean, that, you know me. Me, I'm that way with everything. I don't think Zelda's coming out next year.
Right.
I saw there's people all day on Twitter today. They're like, Breath of the Wild's going to be out early next year. Not a chance.
Now, I want your take on this because I saw Kevin talking about it on Shaq channel. And he is like, this is why you should play all the other games on other platforms if you can. Right? Yeah. And you know my stance on it. I love like a lot of games on my Switch just because I like it on the go. That's just my main reason why I would get it.
Portable player.
It's my portable player. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, that just doesn't have a gaming PC, doesn't have consoles, and just has a Switch. And so, I don't know, like playing these other third-party games is their only option. And it's just like, it kind of sucks that they have to wait all the time. It's not just Life is Strange here. It's other games. It's most games. So
most games.
I feel like when people see this, not Rebecca, not a huge Life is Strange fan, but in general, a person that's interested in a third-party game and see it is like, that makes sense. like they know. So
I mean, it's definitely how a lot of third-party support for the Switch goes. Unless there's like two ways. There's this way, which is common, I think, for bigger third-party releases.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the other way where you have the indie dev that targets and builds just for Switch. They lead with Switch. They get a Switch base, and then they bring it elsewhere. That seems to be very successful. You see lots of devs do that. They get their base on Switch, and then they bring it to Game Pass. Then they bring it to PlayStation, PlayStation Plus, and they kind of build off of there. But with the bigger third parties, I think what this comes down to, and I don't know if this is true. Jeff might. He's in the chat. What this usually comes down to is with these bigger devs, they're outsourcing the port. Bet. And they're not doing the port. And that's why the ports usually lag. That's why they're delayed. Because while they're building the game, somebody else is trying to port it at the same time. You're just going to have delays. I mean, video games are hard. Like, that's just how it happens. Like, you just don't give it to panic button and they cut the resolution in half and switch game. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, way more than that. So that's what I was thinking today when they were like, ooh, the Switch version. Because it was weird because they came out with this news yesterday that the remastered collection is delayed. And then today, a day later, they're like, and by the way, the Switch version is on. It's like, did you just figure this out yesterday? Like, did you have a meeting? Like, why didn't you announce all of these, like, this news at the same time? So my initial impression was that it's the port. This is a port house working on the port, and they're behind schedule.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I don't know. Sorry, Rebecca, you gotta wait. And maybe you're willing to play it on PC or something. I know that sucks. And this is a full price game, right? It's $60, right? Is it? Or is it 50?
I don't remember. I paid for it, but I don't remember this is one of those games I'm just like, buy.
It's like get
Just
it instantly.
charge the card. Just give me the game. I don't know. I want to say yeah, but that includes. Remember, I think you buy the game and you get the
Right.
remasters with it.
You get the
So it's like a
remasters as well.
So I think it might be cheaper if you just buy the game.
Okay.
I think. But
Okay.
to Kevin's point, we've talked about this a few times in the past, and I feel like sometimes a lot of the comments that I'll bring about third-party games can be viewed in that same light. So for me as a consumer, unless there's a specific interest that I have in playing portably, maybe it feels like a void or something that I don't do, I specifically don't like paying for a game that I perceive less value. Like if it just runs much less, it doesn't run as well, it doesn't look as good. Like I feel like I'm actively paying for something that I could get better. It's like it's like going to the supermarket and buying the brown banana versus the yellow banana. It's like, oh, I want the yellow banana. And you're like, but they're both bananas. I'm like, yeah, but I want the yellow banana. Like I want the best banana for my money. Right?
Yeah.
It's like that to me sometimes with third-party games. Sometimes though it doesn't matter, and that's like this great sweet place for Switch. You get an indie
Yes.
game, well, Hollow Knight, it doesn't matter. Hollow Knight looks incredible on Switch. Like Golf Story looks great. I can't imagine Golf Story looking better. Right.
Right.
So there's a specific version of games that Nintendo rightly identifies, and they go after the Axiom Verges and they go after the Hollow Knights because that's like the sweet space for a Switch. But Kevin, I do think, I don't want to say Kevin has a point because it was a pretty harsh sentence, like the way it read.
It's more, yeah.
But I understood where he was coming from. I think.
Yeah.
It's just if you're going to if you're going to be like, I'm just going to buy my Switch and play all third party on Switch, like, well, you're going to miss out on a lot.
It's gonna cut down on a lot of things, like quality wise.
You're not going to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of third party games.
Cut
Yeah.
the options in half, and then the versions that you do get will not be as good. Now, if you're okay with that, and a lot of people are, most Nintendo fans are. If you're okay with that, and you're good, and guess what? That's how Nintendo makes money. Like that's how they win. Like they're totally happy to do that. But like Life is Strange, I don't feel like we brought this up when Rebecca and I were talking about it before. Like,
Yeah.
Life is Strange should be able to run on Switch fine.
It should
Fine.
just fine.
Right,
Yes.
it's not gonna be 4K and all that, but fine. But I say that knowing that the mobile versions of the game are totally playable. However,
Right.
they do have like clippy animations. They have a lot of cutscenes, like we've seen on Switch. Like a lot of games struggle with cutscenes, and stuff like that. So
Just-
like,
yeah.
I just think it's just like a slight blemish on your experience, and it's like not as good.
Yeah, these bigger third-party devs, as you said, Life is Strange, it crosses that weird line of like, it is a big third-party dev now,
Yeah.
and it does gonna require quite a bit because it's gonna try to do its best on PC, Series X, and PS5.
Yep.
So when they try to scale back, when they try to go down to the lowest common denominator, which is now Switch, it's the lowest thing. And so when you see a delay, it's like, that makes sense. I know people are mad, but it's understandable.
It does make sense
At this
and
point.
I always bring it up, and I think Nintendo fans hate hearing it, but it's a completely different architecture.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not x86. It's a completely different thing. A different.
It's a
chip.
phone.
NVIDIA. It's ARM. It's a phone. Like it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
So it's not that easy. That's why a lot of these folks are porting out stuff. They're not doing it. They're paying somebody else to do it for them.
It's actually kind of amazing how many third-party games have been able to port to the Switch.
And how many have actually, for all the, I feel like my reputation, right or wrong, I feel like every time we talk about this, I almost feel like I have to defend myself because I feel like my reputation is somebody who really like a harsh critic on these sorts of things. But like, let's also bring up the fact that Switch has a lot of really good ports too.
Yes.
Like the BioShock ports are great. The
is
Burnout
good.
port I really enjoy on Switch. I love having Burnout on Switch. It's really good. So like they're good ports too. They're not all bad.
Right. It's just the new, bigger third-party games when they say announce for Switch as well.
Yeah,
you
just-
put that asterisk right there. It's like
Most often,
Yeah.
even The Witcher, it's amazing that it's there, but
it's
you don't
so
you
dumb.
really don't want to play it there. Like that's not the
You
best
really
way
don't.
to play that game.
Yeah, I got that game. I'm like, why did I get this? Oh, I'm a sucker for Witcher. That's why.
But even like even the people like even portably, it's like, but there are Game Pass, remote streaming, GeForce. Like there are ways of doing Stadia. There are other ways of doing that better.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. They got Eastward, and Eastward looks amazing.
Yeah, there's gonna be plenty of games to fill the void, but I understand Rebecca's anger, especially as a Life is Strange fan and a huge
for Life is Strange,
Switch fan.
absolutely, yeah. Because if I was with her, let's say I was just so excited that I was all in on getting a Switch, I'd be super mad right now because now I gotta redo all my pre-orders and everything. I don't know if she will. She'll have to let us know. But I mean, I wouldn't wait. I feel like,
I would just request a review code or something.
Yeah.
From another platform or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 could be nearing end of development, writes Imran Khan. Quote, according to our sources here, we can indeed confirm that to be the case. Moreover, the game is nearing final stages of development, but its release date may be held back for a number of reasons. The third Xenoblade Chronicles game is in development at Monolith Soft. It's a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, currently the best-selling game in the series. You excited?
I mean, I'm excited to see what it is. I'm surprised. Well, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but it comes out of nowhere, right? Like, so did you read this article, this fanbite article or whatever?
Not the whole thing. I saw people paraphrasing it on Twitter. I've seen little clips.
Right. So Imran was like, yo, there was this interview from this fan that, interviewed a voice actress in there and kind of implied that the Xenoblade Chronicles series.
There's another game in the works.
I'm here to tell you all of my sources say that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out too. I was like, cool. And then it says far-flung future, brand new characters.
Some returning characters, though, right?
Some returning characters that has outlived their human counterparts. That's right. The description, so you know who they are. Yeah. I mean, I'm not super excited for it. I kind of expected. I just didn't know when the timeline was. Like, is it gonna be in this? Really, I was thinking, will it be in this late Switch life cycle, or will it be better launching a little bit later, maybe close to Breath of the Wild 2? Maybe not close to Breath of the Wild 2, but I'm thinking of that Switch 2, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 struggled on Switch.
Oh, mightily.
And it was like it came in like the first or second year or something like that. First year. So I
think it was first year. It was announced when the console was announced.
Right. Like so there you go. I just hope, they
the second year. Maybe it took a long time to come. I don't remember. But I remember it. I distinctly remember it. It was shown with the console.
Yeah.
Like when they showed the console to the world, Xenoblade Chronicles was there.
I hope they learned from that, and it's like we cannot run it like that again. I'm sure they're struggling to make it run now.
Because we were kind of laughing at it. I'll never forget me and Kevin were like, kind of looks like a 3DS game.
It does.
And at times it does.
And you should see the Xenoblade Chronicles game on 3DS. It's so bad.
Yeah, but like sadly, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 by all accounts is a great game. I could not finish it. It was way too long. So like I'm kind of out of it. But as somebody who put 70 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles X, that was the kind of the shocking part, because we were always told like how more powerful the Switch is than the Wii U, and Xenoblade Chronicles X looks great on Wii U still.
Yeah,
it looks really, really good, way better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, just if you're asking pure visuals, open world, like asset streaming and everything like that, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 X is a looker.
Nice.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Surprising to see. So. I mean, it's a wait-and-see approach to me, right? I want to see a trailer. I wasn't really big into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. I tried a little bit. It wasn't my jam, but I loved Xenoblade Chronicles, the Definitive Edition in the DLC.
Xenoblade Chronicles is a series that I'm probably ready to let go of.
Yeah.
I championed it for a decade and loved it the first time I played it on Wii.
Right.
But back then, I was playing it on Wii because I didn't have anything else to play. You fast forward me, and my gaming taste, I think, have all but completely changed. I don't play RPGs anymore, and I bought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 day of. I played it for 40 hours. Stopped.
That's enough. That's a game right there.
I played the DLC. I played Torna, which I actually liked more. Shorter. I beat Torna.
Yeah.
Then I bought the definitive edition of one of my favorite RPGs ever, and I couldn't even finish it. I played it for 20 hours, and I was like, I'm done. So
Right.
like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is announced, and I think it makes a lot of sense for it to come next year, especially if Zelda's going to be delayed.
Yeah.
So like I would differ. I don't. I mean, they could. I'm not saying you're wrong. They definitely could hold it for a next con. I don't think they would though. I don't think that's a game that you hold.
And
I
that's a
think
game
Metroid
you could fill.
Prime's
Yeah.
a game you hold.
Yeah.
Like Mario Kart might be a game you hold. Like I don't think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a game.
It doesn't
hold.
matter that much.
It's not going to sell that. It's not like a 25 million seller, right? So it's a little different in that regard.
It's sounding like a first half year game. So Pokemon, Arceus, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's gonna be a solid first half of the year for me with Switch. So
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have plenty more to announce and get in there. I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles, it's got a great fan base.
it does.
They
Yeah.
really support it. It's got a really good base. Like I said, the last one sold really, really well. I was hoping that we get an export.
Me too.
I thought we would before 3, but I'm not surprised. Monolith is gigantic. Monolith Soft, I mean, we talked about it
Pretty big.
on the show for 4 years. I felt like for 4 years, every third month, there was like 30 more jobs at Monolith Soft. Like, they're just huge.
They're just gobbling up
The
people.
last time, wasn't the last report we got, I want to say maybe a year ago, it said they were like over 250 or 300 people.
Yeah,
300, like,
250 employees or
that's
something
really
like
big
that. Yeah.
for them. So, and like they're also working on Zelda.
Yeah.
So they're doubling up. So I'm sure they're sharing a lot of tech and a lot of assets and stuff like that. But it's pretty exciting news. It's a big game if it
Yeah.
does come to light, soon.
Let's hope.
And you said, we're also in Splatoon.
Oh gosh, Splatoon. Yes.
Yeah, Splatoon's the big one. Speaking of the big ones, nope. This is a joke. Darksiders 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch on September 30th. We'll include all the DLC. Garrett, do you like
Yeah.
Darksiders?
I have not played a Darksiders game at all.
Garrett, I love Darksiders so much that I pre-ordered Darksiders 3 a year in advance to get the awesome statue and everything.
Yes.
I bought the stupid edition. And I loathed that game. I was
You
so
just
let
don't
down.
like it.
Darksiders 2, I adored. That game
I heard it's
was
great.
amazing. Great little Zelda-like. Love Darksiders 2. I love Darksiders 2 so much. I played Darksiders 1, more hack and slash, but equally great. Like, I also like it. You can get both of them on Switch. I wouldn't recommend you play them there, but you can. And I was just so hyped for 3, man. It was just, you
Yeah.
have no idea. Like, there are podcasts and PSVG's logs, annuals, where I'm just going on and on and on about how Darksiders 3 is going to be awesome. And it missed the mark for me, which I was surprised because when I shared that in the Discord when this was announced, like half the people in Discord apparently liked it. Elaine liked it. And Haley liked it. Well, a lot of people were like, I love this game. So I'm just maybe out on a rowboat by myself on this one, but I did not like this one as much.
I heard it's overall, like you said, pretty positive about Darksiders 3, but not like as much as 2 and 1. I heard those were really, really great games.
I think that's fair. Yeah, because I mean, when it came out, I'm almost sure that like the review cycle was pretty harsh on it.
It was
and at launch, it was my memory of it at launch was kind of clunky. Like it went with like a different approach to like combat and exploration, like the camera. I remember a lot of the camera, like having to platform and like move the camera so I could see where I was going. So I don't know, it just didn't feel like fast action hack and slash, like the Darksiders of old. So
my only experience with Darksiders 3 was trying it out on xCloud very early stages, and I'm like, nope, this is not running well. I don't want to play this game anymore.
Yeah.
And I just like
Darksiders 2 on Switch loses it leaves a lot to be desired in like the resolution department. It's a little soft, a little fuzzy. But for an open world game compared to the other games we have, it's pretty solid.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean it's got a little open. It's more like kind of like how we think of like Ocarina like open. It's not like big, but it's got like a open world. And if you compare it to other games that are like that, like Saints Row, Skyrim, things like that, like comparatively speaking, I think Darksiders 2 holds up pretty well on Switch. It's okay. I wish it was like
sale,
1080.
yeah.
If it was like full 1080, it'd be really, really nice. But the remasters on console or PC I still recommend that. I love those games, but not 3. But I hope people are excited. I hope maybe this is one, every time we see like a big game like this, I'm always interested in hearing what Digital Foundry has to say. It's like,
Yeah, I love how these devs just keep going back. It's like, oh, the Switch is popular now. Let's get our game eventually
it takes
out
Nintendo
on it. Yeah,
from selling 100 million consoles
Yeah.
before developers like, all right,
all right, fine.
I guess we'll put Madden on it. It's like, what's THQ doing? They had Darksiders 3 over there. It's like because they released Genesis on Switch also. Did not
Yeah, day and day or
run-
something
runs-
like that. Yeah,
run look great, super great on Switch. But
no,
yeah, like they're over there like, I guess we'll take Darksiders 3 and put it on Switch.
it's like, oh, I guess more sales eventually out of that one. So
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, you know what THQ is. Okay, Garrett.
Okay,
47 minutes into the podcast. This is why I'm excited tonight. I'm very
Yes.
excited to hear this news. According to Kotaku, Rockstar Games may be remastering 3 classic Grand Theft Auto games. Kotaku confirmed via corroborating details from at least 3 different sources that GTA remasters are currently in the final stages of development. Rockstar is actively developing remastered versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and all 3 of these games will be remastered using Unreal Engine, using a mix of new and old graphics and effects. One source claims to have seen a snippet of the games in action, said that the visuals reminded them of a heavily modified version of a classic GTA title. The UI and stuff will be remastered as well. Garrett, last
Yes.
year we held a little Christmas show where we talked about the future. We made predictions, and on that
Yes,
show,
we did.
I said, I think we'll get a GTA collection this year.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm not going to be there like, I was right. Like, I'm not going to do that. Because here's the thing. It's the 20th anniversary. This makes all the sense in the world. That's why I made the prediction. Because like this was like an easy one to predict. I thought as the year went on, especially as we have no news about GTA 5's remaster, like I was like, I guess they're just not going to do it. But it's interesting because these are iconic video games. Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yeah, it's fair to say for the GTA line. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think just for all video games, like these
Yes. Yeah,
these
yeah,
games really pushed open world.
for sure. Yeah.
Right?
GTA
3
Yeah.
was like first big open world game, like in a major way. And for all the money that they've made since they've done this, they really haven't touched these games a lot. They re-released them on PS3, but they're like the same versions. They released the PS2 version on just PS4, not Xbox. The hell are you guys doing? It makes no damn sense to do that. They do have the mobile releases, which you've heard me talk about many times. The mobile versions are excellent. You have the ability to turn up the graphics, and you can turn up your field of view, and you can turn up like I think they have like a reflections, so you can like see your reflection in like the marble floors and stuff. Like
That's
you
pretty
can
cool.
really turn it up really nicely, and even my cheapest of Chromebooks can run them no problem. So I have no doubt that like if they just wanted to bring the Android version to Switch, that it would be great. But this sounds a lot better than that, which I'm excited for, but I hope it still runs super great on Switch because I specifically want this on Switch. I'll probably buy it on both. But I specifically have wanted these games on my Switch. I want to play them in the portable because these are, I mean, you already know this. Our listeners, I hope they do after 200 plus episodes. But like, I love Grand Theft Auto games. Just give me a sandbox, let me go act stupid, let me listen to music, I'll blow stuff up. Vice City is my favorite.
Okay.
Specifically because I love those old, mobster movies. Goodfellas and stuff like that. So like Ray Liotta as the voice, and it all having like this very Donnie Brasco-esque story of like South Beach, like drug raids and stuff. Like I love GTA Vice City. I cannot wait to play a remastered version of it. I was very, very, very happy to see this news, and
cool.
I've been hoping to see GTA remasters on Switch for a few years now. I was always kind of shocked that they never were there.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking to me that they never touch on this, but they touch on all the other classic games that they have. And they ported a lot of stuff to Switch. I remember
when they did I was going to say Heavy Rain, but it's not the detective.
Alloy Noir.
That game sucks. We can all agree that game sucks, right? Like when it came out, it got terrible reviews. They remastered it. It didn't fare much better. I know that the game has its fans. Every game has a fan. I love No More Heroes. Every game has a fan. Right? But like LA Noir is not great. And they remastered that. And
Right.
it's like, why? Why are you doing it? And I remember when because they put it on Switch too, right? It's on
Yeah, they
Switch.
put it on Switch. Yes.
I remember, I think I was recording, I may have recorded with Bobby. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Why? Why are you doing this? There's so much money to be made. Just put, it's like, you don't even have to put, everyone's like, but, GTA 5 doesn't run. Put 4 on it. 3, 2,
Right.
1. Chinatown Wars. There is
Put
so
everything
much
on it.
money to be made here.
Yeah.
I would give them $40 for Chinatown Wars on Switch. Like remastered and stuff. It'd be great.
I wish they did put more GTA stuff on handheld, because I would probably be interested in playing some of the classic games too.
You ever played Chinatown Wars on DS?
I was never big on the Grand Theft Auto. Whenever I see a Grand Theft Auto game, I was just like, even with Grand Theft Auto 5, that's just me though. I don't like this third-person simulation. Oh, let's walk around and shoot other people. I know it's a huge, big story or whatever, but I just never got into them.
Okay.
I've
That's
never
fair.
gotten interested into them.
It's
But
like
I would be
don't get
interested into
in
this.
RPGs, yeah.
Yeah, I would be interested in this trilogy because I know how iconic it is, and I know the stories are really good.
Did
So
you ever
I
play
would.
the old ones?
I played GTA 3 back in the day with friends, right?
Okay.
It's always been like a friend experience where I was like, oh, let's put in a bunch of cheat codes and put a tank there and a rocket
course.
launcher here.
Yeah.
That's basically my GTA
Yeah.
experience.
It's super fun to do that. I love doing that.
It's very fun.
Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do the story. So it's like, I wonder how far I can run from the cops. Like, how many helicopters
Right.
can I blow up before they bring me down? Like, there's a lot of fun to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vice City's story is incredible, and the music, I 100%. I mean, if they don't bring the music, there you go, Archer, rampage. Yes. If I love Dev, me and Dev are like so simpatico.
Right.
But if they've made so much money, if they don't license the music and make sure that all the music stays, I'm gonna be really mad. Like, don't cheap out on us, Rockstar. If you're gonna do it,
I don't
do it
know.
right. Dude, they've made a gajillion dollars. Like,
I know, but they want to keep that, right?
sold, but like they've sold 150 million copies of GTA.
Too many
5.
copies. Too
Like,
many copies.
Get the music in the damn game. All right, put the
Right.
music in the game. Let's do these games right. But this makes me really, really happy. Like, I know you guys were joking when it was announced today. You're like, oh God, Donnie, but you have no idea like how happy I am. Like, this is instant pre-order for me. I will probably pre-order on console and portable. Because
Nice.
I'll probably play on console just to have like all the graphic effects. But this is exactly the type of game when people talk about like, I want it on the go. Like, I want a game like this on the go. Like, just let me.
That makes
cause
sense,
mayhem.
yeah.
Like, I love Saints Row on Switch. I played a lot of Saints Row on Switch because I just roll around, listen to music, blow stuff up, you know. But the GTA games, sorry Kev, the GTA games are way better.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're just way better than Saints Row. So I was very, very excited. I cannot wait. This is like, this immediately jumps to almost the top of the list for me. Like this year, it's like, oh my God, they're gonna drop this. Who knows? But I'm scared they're gonna drop it like right next to Pokemon or something.
They're gonna drop it during the holidays, man. November, near Black Friday, and
Yeah.
like I think a lot of people are just gonna look at it as like, oh my gosh, I remember playing those games. I remember
Are we
playing
gonna get
GTA.
like a Rockstar Direct? Or like one
That'd
day
be
we're gonna
cool.
wake up and there's like 5-minute trailer on Rockstar where they're like, here's the GTA 5 remaster, here's what it looks like, here's the remasters for 3, Vice City, and Andreas, and here's when they all come out and stuff, like, and they just kind of own the day.
I think that would be a good GTA Direct in general. Just like,
Ooh, Dev calls it GTA 5 GTA remastered bundle. I'm all for it.
yeah.
I'll give you all the money. For sure. Let's just do all of it at once.
How much would that be, you think?
I can't wait to replay GTA 5 remastered. Like, I'm very, very excited to replay that. Well, the remaster is going to be $60. I imagine
Easily,
they're going
yeah.
to sell this trilogy for $60 too.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they do a bundle for $99, but probably not. They just take all the money up top.
Oh yeah.
Be $120.
2 separate SKUs, $60 each. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's very
Well, I'm excited for you, man. Like,
Thank you.
yeah. I will be on the lookout. I probably won't get it day one, but like I'll pay attention to it. It's like that. Those are the set of games that is a gap in my gaming history that I know everyone loves, but I just somehow missed it.
Sean always yells at me on Sweet Hanks to take credit for my predictions. He's like, you gotta stop doing that. So I told him today, I was like, I'm gonna take credit for this one. I'm like, yes, we did it. So
Dev says he needs to get me on GTA Online.
oh,
I remember having so much fun. I remember
I'm pretty sure if I
playing
got into
GTA
it, I'd
5
love
like
it.
what 8 years ago now or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
When I just started college, I was playing GTA 5 on my 360 with friends. It's just like insane. It's still going.
It's that damn good.
It's
That's how good
yeah.
It was. It was
And-
funny is we did an Empire. I think it was last year, like early last year before it was announced, where somebody asked us like, what game would you want remastered for next gen, like before the consoles came out? And I said GTA 5. And Elaine
Yeah.
was like, why? Like, we have it right now. And then like 6 months later, they're like, remaster coming, GTA 5.
They know what they're doing, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I love like keep good games current, like keep remaking them. You know,
Yeah.
I love that.
And-
I want every, like, not every game, but every great game. Like the standouts, always keep them current and refined and modern. You know, keep touching up the visuals, keep them going.
And somehow people keep buying it and just
Dude,
buying
so
more.
I replayed Last of Us 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The game needs a remake. Like, at this
Oh,
point,
now
my
you're
eyes-
saying that with that.
My
Yeah.
eyes have been trained so much that now I played it. Like it was before I was like, it could be remade, but now, like this last time going around, I was like, this game needs to be remade.
And you played the PS4 version?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
PS4 remastered on PS5, so it was running full 60, like unlocked as good as it can run. And I was like, yeah, it needs to be remastered. Just the animations, the pop in. There's so much pop in, like when you're in the when you're doing like the horse riding scene, like anytime
Yes.
anything's moving fast, tons of pop in, like all
Really?
around you. Yeah, it's like I can't not see it now. It's I think 8 years ago I didn't know any better because
We just didn't think of it,
was.
yeah.
Everything did that. Like that was every game. Now it's just like, oh yeah, this game needs remastered. We need new animations. We need SSDs. Like we got to bring
Right.
this up. It deserves it. It's
It's
good.
cr-
It needs to
it's
be brought current.
It's crazy to see these games that we think that they were just like animation, like video game masterpieces. Then 8 years later, you're just like, I see the mistakes now.
Yeah.
It's there. And I remember playing like Assassin's Creed Rogue or something, and that was like the last gen console at the time. I'm like, this looks rough. I love this game, but this looks really, really
I felt
rough.
the same way when I played Far Cry Primal.
Yeah.
You go boot up Primal today. Like, just,
Oh,
I don't know
no.
if you still have access. Just boot up Primal, and you're like, was this made on like the original Xbox? Like it looks, and it was. It was like this gen game, and it's like
Right.
it looks rough. You know. Well, I mean, last
It's
year, I
like
guess at
sounds
this
like a
point,
Switch,
you know what I mean.
Switch version, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Switch version. It is. Yeah, like that's
It
spot
is.
on. I was just like walking around a Primal. I was like, oh, you know. But yeah, it's amazing. Like these games, and it's not that I don't want. I know there's always preservationists that are like, well, keep the original game, but like that doesn't
Yeah.
stop the original game. The original game already exists.
Yeah,
we already
it's out in the
have
ether.
PS3,
Somewhere.
Last of Us. We already have PS4 remastered. It's like it deserves to be brought forward because
Yeah.
it's better than the rest. It deserves it. I've always thought, dude, we said the same stuff about Mario. Remember how excited I was for Mario 64? Like that's all I've ever wanted is a full remastered treatment for a 64.
And
what
we've seen it.
got was a ROM.
A ROM transition to Switch.
And then everybody whined about the controls and everything. It's like, yeah, because they need to remake it. Because it
Yeah.
deserves to be remade. It's one of the most influential video games of all time. It deserves to be remade.
I just don't think they'll ever touch it. It's like, no.
Well, Nintendo
Okay.
specifically doesn't like doing that,
Yeah,
What's up,
yeah.
Drew? Hey, man.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah, they don't have a long history of doing it. They do with Zeldas, but not with like almost anything else. They don't really do anything else.
Yeah, Mario 3D World, but that's not even a remaster, really. It's just
No.
just an Epres port.
Just a port.
Yeah.
Yep.
So cool.
Last thing that I put down here is that there are lots of eShop sales and deals going on right now. There's the QuakeCon promo where you can get Doom, Skyrim, Wolfenstein, all the DLC. Most everything is 50% off. You can get Youngblood for $6.
Don't get it on Switch.
I'm
Gosh.
I'm just
It's
saying.
a bad game and a bad port. Like, just
It's
don't.
a bad game on better console.
It's a bad game on better consoles. Just don't get the. I know it's $6, but
There's a multiplayer mayhem sale where you can get Splatoon 2, Mario Party, Plants vs Zombies, Scott Pilgrim, which is excellent on Switch. I'm still waiting for my special edition, and Resident Evil and others. I just posted a deal on Twitter. You can get Valiant Hearts and oh god, I just forgot it.
Child of Light.
Thank you, Child of Light.
Yes.
You can get them both for $6.
Oh, that's so good, guys! Get those two
$3 a
games.
game.
Get those two games.
both
UBR
worth it.
games. Yes, very underwhelmed there. Did you know on the Switch? I did not realize this until like a week ago. You go into a game or whatever, a sale, like just the store page of a game. You can click on the studio. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You can actually. Oh, I did not know that at all. So I went to, was it NIS America?
Yeah.
And they had a sale of some kind, but I didn't know how to get to the
You
sale.
can click
but-
on the studio and the publisher, I think.
Yeah. So,
So you can
what?
just like click. I do it often actually for just Nintendo. Like, I'll just be like, just show me the Nintendo game.
Oh, that's smart. I just never realized it. I just go to a game that's on sale for them, and then I click NIS America. It's like, oh, there's all the games that are on sale from this publisher. So,
Yep.
I had no idea until like a week ago. It's such small, right? It's
Switch
such
owner,
a
5 years.
just like no.
That's not uncommon. You know, most
Yeah.
people don't mess with all that stuff anyway.
Well, that's a tip for all you people searching the store. You can click on the publisher. I had no idea.
Let's answer some questions. Garrett, why don't you take the honors?
Oh, sure. So Steven asks, with the snap of a finger, if you could have one announced, not yet released game be finished and released at the moment you snap your fingers, what game would it be? Mine would be Silksong.
Breath of the Wild 2. It's not close.
Oh, that would be nice.
It's not close.
It's not close. Are we reserving it for just Nintendo games? I'm trying to think
No,
here.
I was thinking of anything.
Oh, anything.
Yeah, I thought through my head. I went like Fable, God of War, Horizon. And I was just like, no, it's Breath of the Wild. It's not close.
Gosh, I'm trying to. So, there's a lot of games that I want this year. There's not too many games that I want far flung out. What I want done, and I really want to play on Switch, it's not Metroid Prime 4, but Metroid Prime Trilogy. I know it's out there in the ether, but if you just snap that and it's just released right now, it's like, yes, I will give you all the monies to play that right now on Switch with full gyroscope. I will put my Joy-Cons back on or whatever
And you want that
to
more
play it.
than Breath of the Wild 2.
The thing with Breath of the Wild 2, with me with Zelda, I can always wait. I'm not the biggest Zelda
no.
fan, to be honest. So I'm fine waiting till next year. I know it's coming out next year sometime.
And I
Maybe-
want Breath of the Wild 2 more than I want Wind Waker.
Nah, that's a huge thing for you.
Because I have Wind Waker on Wii U. I can
That's
play
true.
it right away if I want to.
That's true.
I want to play it on my Switch, but I can play it right away. I'm just choosing not to. But Breath of the Wild, I've been playing it here and there. Recently I've been talking about it. I think I'm going to hold off for the OLED before I get back into like a full second playthrough.
Yeah.
But, man, that game just hit for me in every right way. I love everything about the game. And I know after 200 episodes, that's not like news to anybody that's
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But I mean, just replaying it a little bit just makes me remember how much I love the design of the game.
Yeah.
How the balance is there, I would call it the grind, but it's not really a grind. Like the journey of improving the character, like getting all your shrines to get all your hearts and using your materials and using like the resources of the world to overcome obstacles. All of that and like that loop. It's just that's a game that I get lost in. Like I just start playing and hours at a time go by. I'm just gone. I'm no longer like present in the world. I'm just gone. And there are
just
very
get
few
lost in
games
it,
that
yeah.
get me like that. I get that way with Dying Light. I got that way with Far Cry 5, but nothing was like that with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, and it's a little different experience, but I took 2 weeks off when the Switch was launched as a vacation.
Wow, yeah.
And I basically sat down and played Breath of the Wild for 2 weeks straight. I remember posting, we used to post, if you use the parental controls app on your phone, it tracks how long you play a game, like by play session. So it'll tell you like you played it like 8 hours this day and 7 hours that day. And I remember posting, we were sharing screenshots at the time. I was playing it for 9-10 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Jeez,
I put in a work week amount of time in just Breath of the Wild. Like that's how lost I got into the world. I was just gone, just completely gone. And I would kill to have that experience again. And I'm just slightly concerned that the knowledge that we have from the first one will lessen the experience of the sequel. But I know that the Zelda team are probably doing everything they can to throw you off of that. And
they're making their own spin, man.
Again, which is why it's probably not coming out next year.
That's true. That's true.
That's the thing, you know, and it's probably not. It might, but it's probably not.
For me with Zelda, like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like getting lost in the game. I remember getting it, you know, the first time, and I did not take 2 weeks off or whatever, but playing it.
Most people don't, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's insane.
I played it for like the next few months, and it wasn't my game of the year, but it was a very, very good game. You get lost into and getting into that rhythm. I need to replay it, because I just haven't done it since the first time go around. So I'm thinking of playing it on my PC. It
looks
runs.
real pretty.
It looks real pretty. It loads just fine now. So
It's playable now.
It's playable. Yeah.
Not
It
pop in everywhere and all that.
doesn't load cache or anything. At least on my end.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it looks
I
breathtaking.
thought about it. I got this new PC, and I was like, I might have to hit Garrett up. And then I remembered I'm getting the OLED, and I was like, I'll just wait for.
Just wait for that OLED. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait for the OLED. But I mean, I really loved. So like when I understood like, okay, to get stronger I have to shrine. You know, I've probably told this story a bunch. I don't remember the last time I told it, but back in the day, if you'd listened to us back when we started the show, when that game came out, and I was telling people, I think I shrined for like 25 straight hours. I did nothing in the game but just go collect shrines, like endlessly, to make sure that I had 10, 50. I was like, okay, so like the game is pretty challenging because I get hit by anything and I die. But if I do these shrines and these puzzles, I'll get more hearts. So let's go get more hearts. I was like, so before I even start the story, before I even go down the path to talk to Sidon, I'm just going to go get these shrines. And I got like 60 shrines. I had like 10 hearts, just go get as many shrines as I can for hours. That's all I did. So that's like, to me, it felt like grinding. I think that's the people that like a grind in a video game. Like when there is something, they're like, I like the grind. To me, I felt that with Breath of the Wild, and that was... I've never felt that with like maybe Pokemon, maybe, but even now I don't like Pokemon grind as much as I used to.
Right.
But in Breath of the Wild, I did, and I do. Like even now, going back, I've already done all these puzzles, and I'm still having a really fun time going through the puzzles and the shrines. Like, oh, I remember how to do this. So like that was a big part of it, and then again, just like the world building and like how big and expansive it felt. I remember just walking around. Like that's the part that you lose.
You feel so lost in it.
Yeah.
And I understand people are like, oh, it's so empty all around. It's like, I mean, not really. If you just venture out and just look, and you're just like, oh, there's a shrine over there. Oh, there's a temple over there. Oh, there's trees over there. There's got to be something over there. So I love how exploratory it really is. Yeah. Now you're making me miss it. Honestly, I just want to replay it. I think sometime this year.
It made me miss it. Like I started replaying and I got off the plateau and I was like, oh, I kind of want to just play this now. I want to stop everything I'm doing. I don't want to play any podcast games at all, and I just want to replay Breath of the Wild again.
I wish I could just stop, like pause time, stop life, and just let me just play this game for just a solid, I don't know, 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
Not worry about it.
Oh, it's just so. The question, I mean, to answer the question again, it's easily that game. There's nothing else that comes close to me. It's like I'm just holding on for that one game. I'll play other stuff. I'm excited for other stuff, but nothing's that.
Cool. I'm gonna wait on Kevin's question until Rebecca gets here because it's all about the micro games and WarioWare. Adam wants to know, what is Donnie's secret to success?
What?
What is your secret to success, man?
What success?
I have no idea.
Do you have to have the success part first, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
you're successful in podcasting or bringing up and with other people as well, bringing up with the PSVG land.
Sure.
Maybe it's that.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dev says buy low, sell high.
That's spot on, Dev.
That's a secret.
I always say this, and it's meant to be humbling to ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we find I would consider ourselves successful podcasting, yes, but there's a billion people that are way more successful.
Right. Oh no! Did we lose him? I think we lost. Oh, he's coming back.
I'm here, or at least on my end, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I see you. I've been here.
Okay, you're there. Sorry.
Okay. Oof.
Yeah, you're back.
It's scaring me, man. I think that's a rain on your end.
And my computer's been, I don't know, screaming at me.
So as I was gonna say, like my neck's been stiff, and I went to YouTube to find some exercises and some stretches I could do.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, there's nobody chiropractors have like 1 million views on YouTube. So
That's crazy.
when you see that type of stuff, you're like, oof, are we successful?
Yeah.
Probably not. But I mean,
I think we have a good thing going. I think we have something sustaining, and it's like people enjoy it, and we're all in this indie podcast scene. Like we try to help each other out.
Of course, I'm very proud of it.
It's a good community out there.
Shaq, I said this on the PSVG episode that dropped. So again, it's in the notes. Click on the link. You can subscribe to my new show, Play Some Video Games. With this show specifically, Garrett, I set out to make what I wanted to like the best Nintendo podcast, what I consider the best Nintendo podcast in the world, and a big reason why I'm okay, I'm content. I feel like to step away, is because I feel like we did. I feel like myself and Caroline and Jason and Kevin and yourself and Rebecca, like all of us through the time together, I feel like we did. And I'm not saying that our show is the best, but it's everything that I wanted to make. And I feel a sense of accomplishment. I really do.
That's good,
like,
man.
I feel great in the fact that I can step away. It's like I did it. Like mission accomplished. My
That's
highlight
good.
was like I always kind of built our show in basically in the vision of the what I would consider like the original Nintendo voice chat. And I know it wasn't the original with Craig Harris. Like that's like really, really dating myself. But like right after him, we had Rich George and Andre Drake, and that's basically what I always tried to make with Nintendo Shack. I just kind of wanted to bring that show back and then kind of add my own spin on it. And I definitely did that. So I absolutely loved it. So I feel really, really good. And it's a great space to do it. And, Rebecca's a giant superstar. She's got
she's
all
carrying the
attention
show.
and following that she could ever, like way more than we could ever want. And then the new guest and yourself are great fits with that. So this is a great opportunity for me to be like, all right, guys, take it as far as you can. And when, if you want to come chat with me, I'll be over here. I'll be behind you, supporting you every step of the way. But if you change my logo and my stuff, like I'm going to be big mad.
We're just going to completely change everything. Change the show. Change the episode. Oh, man.
It is kind of, it's kind of bittersweet because I have a lot of very, very fond, vivid memories sitting in this chair talking on this show to other people. So for me, it feels like I'm kind of closing a chapter. And I know I'm not leaving. I'll still jump in here every now and again. I know that'll happen. I'll pop in by Shaq. I'm not gone forever. And you guys will come through PSVG as well. So we're still going to be talking, but just not doing it. It's hard to explain. Sean and I talked like on Sweet Hangs this past week. We didn't record it or anything. We didn't publish it, but we just talked for like 2 hours.
Cool.
We just had a conversation, and I was trying to explain to him, it's really difficult to explain like the letting go of something that you put. And I know, look, every podcaster does this. So I'm not, I have a really hard time, I think, talking about myself. I always feel like I'm going back and forth, but I know every podcaster does this. So I know that they'll understand what I'm trying to say. I've poured so much time, so much energy, so much thought. It's not just like the logo or the background. Like I got those done in a day. right? I've been doing this for 1,000 days. Like I got those done in a day. It's the show when it didn't work on iTunes or an episode didn't pop on Amazon and I got to get in there and I got to refresh everything and I got to fix everything. It's listening back to it and learning. It's a creative energy, like all the different little bits and gimmicks I used to do to try and make the show different or cool or make it worth listening to. It's the preparation that I put into the research, into making sure that I had good predictions or good opinions or was informed. It's all of it, all of that time, effort, creative energy, the videos, the intros, you know, like I've made the new one for PSVG.
Right.
And today I actually wrote, I realized how just asinine this was when I said it, but I wrote Dev, I was like, I got to edit the thing. And he's like, why? I was like, these 3 frames out of 3,000 are off.
Oh my
and
goodness.
they are. Like, they were off, but I realized it's like, that's the amount of elbow that I'm putting into these things that I do. So like to just step away from one, you know, like it feels like you're missing. It's like, you know, it's like I lost an arm or something. It's like, oh, I feel like it's still there, but it's kind of not. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain. I don't regret it. I'm very excited about what we're doing. If anything, I feel like in a way that I built this really great show up, and now I can let somebody else keep that going. And now it's time to go rebuild another show. Like, let's go build another show up. You know, like let's go redo it again. So that kind of rise is great. But I mean, and I'm not even trying to answer Adam's question anymore. I don't even know what success. I mean,
it's okay. You just keep on going. Just keep on.
Try hard, man. That's it. It's just I put a lot of effort into most things that I care about that I do. It's funny because if I don't care, I don't care. And a lot of you listeners have heard me like, I don't care. I'm not doing any of that. But if it's something I care about, I really give it my everything. And I tried to make the best show that I could.
Yeah, so. I'm wondering how you're gonna feel like a month from now, or at least like the holidays when there's a direct coming or something along the lines of that. Of course, you could come in.
I'm gonna try real hard not to take a chair on those big moments.
Okay,
that was something. It's real easy to do that. We've had other folks that wanted to do that. Like, hey, you know, like I don't want to do the show anymore, but I want to come back during the direct days. It's like, well. Those are the fun days. Those, you got to earn that day. You got to earn that chair because that's the chair that everybody wants. You know, so I actually probably not going to do that to you guys.
Okay,
let you guys. That's your show. Let you do it.
Sounds
and
good.
Then if you want to hear my thoughts on the direct, like I'll shout out a thing or two that I enjoy on PSVG, and then I'll direct everybody back to Shaq so they can hear the rest. And then I'll come a week after or something and we can talk about it. You know, for me, I think it'll be more like, you know, when there's a big release, I don't know, like Splatoon, we're all playing Splatoon, like maybe I'll drop in and talk Splatoon.
That'd be cool. No More Heroes 3. Is No More Heroes 3 before you leave?
Yeah. So I kind of set this up on purpose. Nobody really realized it, but my last show is September 2nd. It is because Rebecca has a schedule, Devin has a schedule, but it just so coincidentally happened to line up that No More Heroes 3 releases, I think, the 27th. So then the second would be like the week after I've had No More Heroes 3. So yeah, my final full-time gig on Shaq will be No More Heroes 3. And what a perfect send-off for me.
It is perfect for you.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to go.
It's a game you love, and a lot of people don't. I wouldn't say don't care, but just not as big as a fan as you.
Oh, of course. No, it's super niche. It's super small. I was trying to get Jeff barking up that tree earlier on Twitter. He was talking to Nintendo, and I was like, you going to play it? Because he's been talking about No More Heroes all summer, and he's still doing the thing. He's like, nah, I got to try it, but I'm not going to play it. But I was hoping he actually got a review code or something. I was excited. But no, yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm so excited to play that game, and then come tell everybody about it. One of my favorite Nintendo Shacks was the Travis Strikes Again show. It actually, we've had a lot of great ones, right? We had Pear, we had the 100 episodes, we had We Remember Me, we had the Breath of the Wild stuff. I've definitely done crossovers with Sean, crossovers with Bobby. We've had Jeff, a few times. Like we've had some great guests. But my favorite show. Oh, he does play. Yeah, see? There we go. Dude,
there you go.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, Jeff. I got the stupid edition from like France.
Stupid edition.
Did you see that? There's a
No,
special
no, no,
edition
no.
that there was only 1,000 copies. You had to order it from France. And it's like
What?
this company I've never heard of. I'm sure it's like halfway could be a scam. Like it's a whole thing.
What does it come with?
It's got like a box and of course steel books and the art books and all that stuff. But I think my favorite episode that we did was Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, because on the Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes episode, I really got to like geek out in a major way, and I felt like I prepped hard for it. So Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is basically a love letter to Suda 51. There is a bajillion Easter eggs and references and cutscenes and everything that talk about Killer 7 and Killer is Dead and Shadows of the Damned and Lollipop Chainsaw and everything that he's ever done. And I came to this show basically like, here's your history lesson. This is what this game is.
This is
And I loved
historical encyclopedia.
I loved it because we had folks that were like, I don't know anything about this, and they're like, I'm kind of excited.
Let me teach you. I am
they're like,
Professor
I wanna
Reese
play
right
it.
now. Let's go. Pop quiz at the end.
It was hilarious because when I went to MomoCon and I met him and I got to interview him, a big part of that was like for Switch. I was really excited to talk to him about because he's always said that. And you remember? I'm not sure if you remember. Do you remember the when they unveiled the Nintendo Switch like in Japan and they had like that stage show? That was a show that Sean was like, "This is awful." And
Oh yes, no.
about it.
Yeah,
Suda was there.
Oh really?
Yeah, Suda was there. Nintendo approached him about bringing No More Heroes back to Nintendo to doing it. So like that's why this all gets done. And I talked to him about that when he came to Atlanta, and I was like, just tell me like how that felt for you, to have Nintendo approach you and say like, we want Travis Touchdown. That's why for your year plus here with Rebecca, that's why I kept saying Travis is going to get put in Smash. I was like, oh, it's definitely going to happen, because I talked to him about it. And during that time when I was posting those videos and taking selfies with him and everything, people were like, how did you get to know Wario64? It's like nobody knows who he is or what his game
Oh no.
so I really liked that episode. So I kind of orchestrated that to be kind of my final episode here.
Nice. Well, good.
Yeah, man.
Let's see here. Canadian Crawler says, do you think a Zelda RPG game set in the Champions era would be amazing? Imagine having a party of Derek, Link, Zelda, and Beetle to level up. I'm sorry.
Derek.
Sorry. That's when you said Daruk, I'm like, oh, right. That's how you pronounce it.
I know what a Goron named Derek.
There's Daruk and his little brother Derek right there.
I think a Zelda RPG sounds awesome in anything.
It sounds fantastic.
We talked about like paper Zelda, right? Do like the Paper Mario thing with Zelda. If you want to do like a Final Fantasy type thing,
that'd be cool.
Like
I think.
Yeah, like a party thing isn't my thing, but like just an RPG Zelda sounds great.
Do you want an action RPG or?
I would prefer an action RPG. I
Okay.
think Zelda would make sense as an action.
Yeah, that would make way more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like the turn-based thing is probably not the best.
Breath of the Wild does like kind of it's teetering the line. Now it doesn't have level ups and skills or whatever, but it's getting there. And they've been touching it with like Age of Calamity 2 as well. I would actually like to see
You do have to grind, to level up and stuff. Like you do have to do that.
That's true. I just would like to see just a good, like, well-made Zelda RPG. It doesn't have to be like this is Breath of the Wild game, but just a Zelda RPG in general. I would like to see that.
When I think of that, I think of something kind of like in the style of like a Four Swords or something. Like if you're gonna do like a party-based thing, like doing it like that makes a lot of sense.
That'd be cool.
G-Man in the chat says, would Lollipop Chainsaw come to Switch? I can almost assure you that Lollipop Chainsaw will probably never be touched again.
Nope.
And it completely makes me very, very, very sad, G-Man, because I love Lollipop Chainsaw. I have Juliet is up on my wall right here, right above Link. I have Juliet canvas. Lollipop Chainsaw is amazing. 1, Suda51 directed game. 2, James Gunn wrote the damn script
Really?
Nobody knows
Oh
that. Yeah,
my
like,
gosh.
Guardians of the Galaxy, like super huge, like before he was famous. Like
That's
he did it.
crazy.
It's a crazy game because it's like really actually empowering. Juliet, like she's definitely sexualized, right? She's running around a little cheerleader miniskirt and everything, but she kicks total ass, and like all the a-holes that treat her like that, it's like total vengeance thing. Again, Suda 51's a Tarantino video games. But it's loaded with licensed music and all
Really?
kinds, Guns N' Roses and stuff like that.
Oh, you won't get that
like, and
at
it's
all.
like every time I play it, because I still have it, I have 360 copy. It sucks that it is not a back compat. Like that really bothers me.
That's criminal.
But every time I play it, I'm like, they're never going to touch this game. Like, there's no way. They would have to remake it and basically, I think, strip all that out. Yeah.
So Ahoy Adam says Octopath style Zelda game would be fun to me. You know what? I would be down with that. Like a Dragon Quest type of style, very focused set of characters. Yeah, I would be down with that.
I mean, you could even put Link in like a Dragon Quest crossover. That would work. Like in that style, like you could have like a Link character show up.
Yeah. And then Carlos says the last one. What items, weapons, moves, or type of puzzle from another Zelda you would like to see in the Breath of the Wild 2?
Ooh, that's a really good one. There's a lot of answers.
There's a lot of answers to this one.
Hook shot comes immediately to mind.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no hook shot in Breath of the Wild.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah.
And it would be nice to have more, I call it like air traversal, but I mean, like we have the glider.
We do have the glider, yeah.
But it's different when it's the hook shot's different because the hook shot can also double as a weapon.
That's true. You can use it in combat. You can Isn't that the one that freezes monsters a lot?
It can.
too?
It usually stuns them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be just the idea of a hook shot being available. How much better could shrines be? Just you take this one item and like, how much does that open up a shrine to becoming more like a dungeon? Because then you can have posts and certain things that you've got to actually get to. You could even have it to where you have to hook shot to something to kind of slingshot you so you can glide to something.
That would be really cool.
It's just a really great mechanic that you can do all kinds of stuff with. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. It's probably not the one that I would want most.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, is there much magic in Breath of the Wild, or not really at all? I think of there's the 3 or 4 little techniques you got, but other than that, is there freeze rods, fire rods,
outside of those, no?
Yeah, I always like to see more magic in Zelda. I mean, it's just barely touched upon like the whole time, and some games do better than others. But yeah, I would like to see just a little bit more magic coming out of Breath of the Wild 2.
I think the answer that I would love, the one that I want most, I just don't think it adds. I don't know. It might. I want an ocarina back.
Oh yeah, no, that would be totally cool.
I said that when we were talking about our favorite like Zelda items. Like the ocarina is so much better than the harp, but it doesn't have to be an ocarina, right? It could be anything. It could be a harmonica. It could be
any instrument.
A guitar. It could be a banjo. Who cares? Just the idea of having musical powers. Basically kind of mixing your power thing, like the ability to change the weather or the daytime or to teleport or to open doors or to solve puzzles through the power of music that you learn by progression in the game. That made it's one of the things that I remember most, like when I replay Ocarina, is how much the music being used in the game as opposed to being like a backdrop during a cutscene, to actually be used as the mechanic, stuck with me. And like unlike any Zelda game, every Zelda game mostly, for the most part, has incredible music. But Ocarina stands out because you use the music. And I would love to get back to doing that.
That'd be really cool.
It's a cool mechanic.
It is a very cool mechanic. And there's so many different ways to go about it. Like, of course, with music, there's just so many different combinations. You obviously see it with Ocarina. There's just so many different ways to make a song. And it's just like... And you center the music around it. Yeah.
Games don't do that.
Games really don't do that.
Nobody really does that. The only thing I was thinking of, like immediately comes to mind, I think something else, is I think of like the guitar in like The Last of Us, which was really cool. You didn't use it to play games, but it also made like those cutscenes and stuff feel special.
And it's a real guitar in Last of Us 2. It's really cool to see.
Because it's immersive, because you're doing it. Like it just, that's the difference between video games and movies. And
yeah, it's interactivity. in that sense.
And it's like something that's so obviously there that I'm always kind of every time I think of Ocarina, I'm always kind of shocked that for all the influence that Ocarina had on games that have come since, like the music mechanic is really not one of them. Like there are really no other games that you do that a whole lot in.
No, I can't think of much at all that really uses music other than it being a rhythm game or a music centric
an
game.
actual music game.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that'd be cool. And then you see the orchestrated songs coming in right after, then it opens the dungeon, and it's just like, that's a powerful moment for you. Mm-hmm. Once you learn the song and like, everything comes together.
I know this isn't going to happen because by all accounts, everything we have with Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be all based in the sky. And that's why everybody's got all the Skyward Sword stuff going, right? Mm-hmm. But back in the day, when I was talking to Bobby, I had this idea of making Breath of the Wild 2 more of a spiritual successor to Wind Waker instead of Skyward Sword. And my idea was that you take this world that you have and you flood it. And you advance the timeline like in the future. Now everybody's like, basically it's like Water World. Everybody's around boats and stuff. And like there are islands that you can explore, but like there's this whole Breath of the Wild world under the water.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, and it's like kind of like, you know, like you have, you know, the upper level, like the top soil, like the, you know, and then you have the dark world, you go underground and stuff like that. Like that's kind of same approach, but it's like underwater. You can still have temples and everything going there. But you think about all the games we've had with like Zora's Domains, the water temple and stuff like using the ocarina to like raise and lower the water, you know, to interact with puzzles, to make things floaters and stuff, buoy up and stuff. It's just, it was really, really, really cool how integrated the ocarina was.
Yeah.
And how like it was just, it served such a strong through line from like the beginning of that game to the end. Mm-hmm. I would like to see more stuff like that because a lot of times, you know, especially in Breath of the Wild, you know, like you get the items, but like, do they really matter?
Yeah, they don't do it that much, right?
They're
you can
interchangeable.
You can go straight to the end boss and you're good.
They're interchangeable. Right? You can kind of just pick one that you like, which is cool. Mm-hmm. But like, you couldn't do that with Ocarina. Like, you needed the Ocarina.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Cool.
And that is it.
Well,
we're done.
That's going to do us for us this week on the Nintendo Shack. We've got a few more here before I say my piece and move on. Again, make sure you subscribe to the link. It'll be in the show notes in the podcast. And next week, Miss Rebecca will be back.
Yeah.
On the Nintendo Shack, and we can talk more about this Life is Strange stuff. I do want to get her impressions of the Indie Direct as well. So we'll make sure that we at least bring her back and get what were her favorites in there. And who knows what next week will hold.
Who knows?
I expect we'll hear about Pokemon at some point, right?
The Diamond and Pearl? Yeah, I hope so. A little bit more snippet.
Yeah.
I don't know. We know the game. That's the thing, is that we've
point.
seen the art style and we know the game.
That's a good point.
I pre-ordered
All right.
it.
Well, that'll do it for us. Good night, Kooplings.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I got to do the Rebecca thing.
Oh, yeah, the Rebecca thing.